Okay, people, so I know everybody's expecting a babbling fucking idiot here, right? And trust me, I'm feeling pretty shitty right now. I think my family has come to the conclusion that my dad has been doped up, right? He's been medicated with an opiate of some kind. An Oxycontin or Contin or whatever they call that stuff, or morphine. Because he was just too docile. You know, he wasn't his normal self. You know, being whatever. Like, he's been in a household where, you know, for 24 years, there's been like 5 kids plus running through, and, you know, and he's always kept up with the pack, right? You know, he was just too comfortable to sit there and rock himself, move himself like this. That's why in the last video I kept saying stop wheeling off, because he was going like this. He never used to do that. And his eyes were pinned. You know, and his speech was quite slurred. I mean, it was slurred before, but it was more slurred. And he's been bamboozled. Completely bamboozled. He signed things. Something, I don't know how they got him out of there. You know, I really don't know how they shipped him off to Vancouver or Victoria. All I know is that the Fraser Health and you know, the healthcare system and the social workers, MCFD, that work with the elderly and allow this kind of stuff to happen is just as bad as what happened with Andre, and having his mother out on the streets and becoming a heroin addict to injection use because she was disconnected from her methadone. Like, there's some serious stuff going on in our society that, like, needs to change. So in the meantime, these social workers that cause all this havoc in our society, they get away with it. Them and their cohorts, whatever colluded group that they're associating with, to cause destruction in one area and to prop up another area, they never get held accountable. Basically, I'm $3,000 in the hole. In other words, there's going to be $3,000 worth of rent and bills not paid. I have my little $1,000 check. I have to put a couple of $100 for some stuff that comes out of the bank automatically. So my landlord is going to get, I have to give her at least $850 out of a $1,000 check. And then I have to give her another $800 as soon as I get the money for Andre to cover the full rent, $1,650. You have to remember, people, I moved into this house because of John's wife. Otherwise, John and I and the kids would never have moved in here because we couldn't afford it. And when I got here, I got stuck with this yard. And because I was trying to make a home for the family, which included John and his wife, well, his wife, I was out there for 5 fucking years. And cleaning up after his wife for 3, and then packing her shit and trying to store it around the house for another few more months. Well, basically, I've been looking after John for 24. You have to remember, he came in blind. He came in saying, here's my paperwork, will you do it for me? You know, will you help me go bankrupt? My wife made me go bankrupt. I don't know how to fill out. You do the paperwork. I said, okay. So I did all that for him. I've been cleaning up after him for 24 fucking years. Right? So now I'm sitting here holding the bag because of a social worker that decided to fucking ship him off to Victoria. All of a sudden. They never even gave him one chance, not even one chance, to come home and try and heal himself at home before he got shipped off someplace and was permanently gone. Never mind across the water where his family that he's been living with for 24 years is like totally destroyed. My kids are like crashing again because of us social workers. More than one again. Because personally, I feel that the first social worker that talked to me in the hospital just wanted to get to the gist of who had power of attorney so she could take that information and run back to the family that came across the boat one time, 2 times. Somebody came to visit him when he had his prostate. And we weren't sure what was going to happen, so they hopped over. But, he bounced back from that. But it was obvious this time it was going to take a little longer for him to bounce back. So instead what they did is they stuffed him up with a bunch of fucking medication, sat up there and lied to me about it. Oh, no, he's not on medication. Just calcium. Just an aspirin for his blood. And we give him the inhaler. Well, we're starting to think, no, he was a little more on that. I think they were giving him something heavy duty, because not once the whole time did he complain about his fucking legs, except for the one day that he was stiff, out of the whole month and a half that he was there, which would be not normal for John. But at least here he was walking. At least here he was moving around, and he was active, and his mind was involved, not, yeah, well, I think I'm confused, or maybe I'm not. So basically what they've done is they've taken him over there, and they'll probably keep him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, keep him doped up for the rest of his life, and milk him for his money. If he's getting $2,900 a month, and the cheapest care facility is $1,650, they're making a profit off of John of $1,250 a month. Free. No taxes, nothing. If he lives for another 5 years in a care facility waiting for them to show up, we won't be able to, because we don't have the money. We're broke. I don't even know how I'm going to keep this house going. Well, my landlady, I'm like, how long do you think she's going to take her rent and payments? I don't have money to move. You heard John say that in the video. We don't have money to move. So what were these social workers thinking? Oh, well, obviously not about Andre. I don't know why that's flashing. That light is flashing again. Oh, battery. Should be plugged in. Hold on. There, I think I fixed it. No. Oh, I know what it is. I have to delete some videos. Hold on a minute. The camera gets full, right? With videos, so I had to remove a couple to make room for more ones, new ones. Like this one. I worked on those boxes. I'll put it at the end of the video instead of the beginning of the video. Because those boxes have been sitting around for as long as John's been around. And I just wanted to get them off my sewing table. So yeah. I get my money. He gets his money. I pay the bills. If I spend $300 or $400, no, seriously, people, on like yard stuff, or if I have to put $600 or $700 on the car for repairs because it's an old car, it's 33 years old, whatever. Before it was off the road, I had to put in like $700 for my starter because it had to be rebuilt, whatever, and did air care and whatever, and then I couldn't insure it, so I took it off the road because that wiped us out, right? And I'm juggling bills. And like there's never enough money to pay all the bills. And if I pay all the bills, then there's no money for anything else. Like seriously, can't buy cat food, can't buy groceries. If I fix the car, I don't pay the visa. And it's been hard. It's been hard. Like taking on John's wife and then having to move into a bigger house to accommodate her. Right? And then to be stuck out in a yard that you weren't even prepared for. Right? Because of the issues with the sand in the front and the mud and the weeds, and you want your family to be happy, and nobody else is helping you to do it, so you got to do it. So that took up years of my time. And then to have the front ripped up, and I'm cleaning and I'm trying to repair things, and And those fucking social workers basically pushed my grandson out into the streets by sending John to Victoria. Because I blame the social workers for this. And everybody else that works with the social workers to pat the social worker on the back and say you did a good job. You reunited John with his family. You know, you took him away from a scourge in society. Right? Me, right? They took him away from me and the kids. Right? We can't talk to him. My daughter tried to phone over. They're just hanging up the phone on her. And when she did finally get through on somebody, she was just screaming, where's the life insurance? We want to know where the life insurance is. Where is it? That's all you want is money. That's all you guys want John for, accusing us that we want him for money. No, we built a home. This is his home. Well, I got some person trolling my YouTube channel with my last video saying, well, I'm glad that those workers at that place, they did that, and and you're just with the welfare bum with your dehydrated food and negative energy in this house, and it's good riddance that John's out of there and in Victoria with his real family. Like, whatever, man. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. There was no ball and chain on his fucking ankle. He could have left and moved into a care facility with his wife. He was taking a bus by himself when we moved over here for the first several years to go to Victoria. It got to the point, though, where the kids had to take him because he was getting old. He could have stayed. There's nothing made him come back on his own except himself. So these people, the Duncans, gonna go down in history, man. Because this is the non-profit history. This is the history of the non-profit. The clan, not John Duncan, but the clan. Like, there's something seriously wrong with these people. For them to decimate a whole family, a family where the children, as they were growing up, was making sure that they took John on the bus so that he could get to Victoria safely and visit with them. Visit his mother, visit his sisters, visit his wife before she moved over here. And they did it repetitively over year after year after year. And then for them to sit up there and say, well, Judy won't let John talk to his mom. She's always screaming in the background. Well, if I'm screaming in the background, I'm screaming in the background for a fucking reason. And when that bitch Joan moved in, his wife, there was a big fucking reason. Because she was just a troublemaker. She moved in with a big chip on her shoulder and caused nothing but trouble. And you have to remember, the lady had shock therapy, was in a mental institution on several different occasions throughout her life, right? Was bulimic, was anorexic, and popped a whole bunch of psychosis pills for her clinical depression and psychoses, and God knows what she was fucking taking it for, but she was taking like 10, 15 fucking pills. That's what moved into my house. And that's what I cleaned up after for 3 freaking years and was tortured by. But John could have moved into the care facility with her when she left. Nothing was stopping him. He could have phoned, he was phoning his mom. Joan was phoning his mom. He could have said, Mom, get me out of here. I can't stand Judy hollering at me. But he never left. He moved in with me hollering, for crying out loud. So it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse for what they've done. Because the biggest person at risk here right now is Andre. And he's 4 years old. If John would have died, it would have been different. Because we'd cry, Uncle John's dead. Oh, we love him, we'll miss him. He's a great man, the best man on the planet. There's nobody better than Uncle John. Let's find a way to bury him. Invite the family to participate with that. If they don't want to, fuck them, because we love him, we'll bury him, even though we're broke. And we would have dealt with it. And my kids would have moved on. But instead, they're sitting here right now, tormented, wondering what is going on with him, knowing that he's been tricked to go over there so that they can accuse us of wanting him for his money. But yet they're demanding to find out where the fucking life insurance policy is. But there is none. He canceled that when the BC Liberal government in 2002 came in with their, well, here's a package, and here's another package. Pick a package. Which one do you want? Because we're wiping out the union. We're busting up the unions. And we're saving ourselves a whole lot of money because we're going into a financial crunch in this province. So pick a fucking plan. He picked a plan with no fucking life insurance. Because he didn't want this to happen. He didn't want his family coming in. Where's the money? Where's the money? We want the money. John's got money. Well, there is no money except for what he's got right now until he's dead. So they made him nice and cozy in a nice fucking wheelchair in some care facility or with his sister or wherever he is, because we don't know where he is. We have no clue. They won't let me talk to him. They won't talk to the kids. Think about it, people. He's been totally severed. Severed completely. After all these years, completely severed. Well, he's probably being medicated. And he can't get up because they haven't been giving him physiotherapy. He told you himself. And they somehow tricked him. I don't know, maybe they blindfolded him. Who knows what the fuck they did. But they did something to get him over there. And now we can't find him. We don't know where he is. And even if we could, the social worker and the team and the Duncan family made sure that this house is imploding financially. So, I've been really depressed because I know what's coming financially very soon, and it's not fair to my landlord to have to prop this up for very long. I'm sure you can cut me a little bit of slack, 850 here, 800 there. I'm not packing up and moving out. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I spent way too much time in this yard trying to make this house a home. A home for John, a home for his wife while she lived here, and a home for my kids. But Joan didn't want a home. No, that's not what she wanted. So it was never really a home when she was here. And then when the other social worker came in and kicked out Sierra, it wasn't a home then either because everybody was up in arms because they lost their little nephew, right? John, his grandson. Me, my grandson. Great-grandson for John, right? And we went bonkers on that one and practically went bankrupt. But I had enough to wheel and deal, juggle the bills, fix the car, not pay this bill, do whatever, buy a few groceries, So we got by. And I said, John, one day, if you ever, some shit bad happens, these people that are lurking around, that like to cause this havoc, they're going to go after you one day. Because they want to hurt me. Because I talk about the homeless people and what the BC healthcare system is like under the BC Liberal government and that kind of shit. Maybe I don't get a lot of views on my videos, but the information slowly but surely is getting out there. Okay, I don't got my head in the fucking sand. My dad's wife was pulling in, over $2,000 a month, $2,200 a month on her pension plan by herself. $2,200 a month for a single person that, for as long as I've known her, worked 6 months. I've known John for maybe a year. That's when she got out of the hospital and went back to work, and then after a year, she couldn't fucking work anymore. So for 29 fucking years, she sat up there and collected over $2,000 a month in a fucking pension. On top of when she did her little, let me see what plan I want, and she picked this plan, she got a big fucking buyout of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So she didn't go bankrupt when John moved out. Because she already had her little pension plan. But John was bankrupt when he moved out. And I had to close accounts because he asked me to because he didn't know what to fucking do to control her. So I closed the accounts. Eventually he just fucking moved out because she didn't like to clean and neither did her daughter. You think my house is bad? Huh. That one, you put your feet down and they fucking stick to the floor from all the cat urine that was on it. And they didn't care. Never dusted, nothing. He said he lived in the apartment for 25 years. Same fucking furniture it was when they moved in. Dark and dingy and smelly. Well, she was bankrupting him. And because he was blind, basically, right? Bad legs, just a common laborer, he needed assistance. So he asked me to help him. And this is my reward by his fucking hateful family. Because this is hate that's coming in our direction from the Duncan fucking clan. My grandson's sleeping in his own bed, which he deserves to have. Something that these people are trying to take away from him. Right along with the fucking social worker as she's, well, I feel he needs more time. What, to sit in a wheelchair and be doped up? And bombarded by people that got a fucking agenda, that don't want to admit that their agenda is all about money? Because if they were interested in about John, where have they been for the last 24 years? And they sure in the hell don't care about the kids. And that was number one priority on John's list. He cared more about the kids than he cared about me. That was his life. That's what he lived for, was these kids. He nurtured them from baby all the way up. And they robbed him of that. Completely robbed him of that. And they think by doping him up, keeping him wasting away in a wheelchair, that somehow, it's going to, that's going to fade away. He'll learn to hate us because we won't be able to go get him. We can't get him out. We don't know where he is. Who am I taking to court? So anyway, I have to worry about rent and I have to worry about bills. Otherwise, this shit's just going to end up outside by the sheriff. Or the landlord can fucking take it out. I don't care. Because I'm almost at my breaking point. Like, seriously. I've been working way too fucking long, way too fucking hard, being a nice person, trying to set up a nice nonprofit, go out and do community events and work with the children and work with the parents and, fucking try and deal with, crooked freaking politicians talking about universal school meal programs and, trying to approach businesses and, they don't care because they're all about, the corporate dollar and, it doesn't pay to be nice, man. This is how you get treated. They ask me, well, what's your relationship with John? Well, what the fuck? I met him through a friend of his, a female friend. Her name was Barbara. Barb. Brooks when he was a baby, right? She invited me over for fucking coffee. And I could go coffee and hang out with her. She was an experienced mom. I was a new mom. Along came John, introduced himself, sat down on a table, started talking. Blah, 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 blah. I needed a ride to the fucking doctor, to take the baby to the doctor. He offered to drive me. Next thing you know, I'm driving the car because he can't fucking see. So I don't know. Like, Jesus Christ, man. He needed somebody to help him. That's what it was. When I used to walk with him, I wouldn't walk 5 feet, 7 feet in front of him because he'd walk slow, right? With his cane. I'd walk beside him. I showed him some respect. Unlike those people fucking in Victoria. The Duncan clan. So, I have to get proactive. I don't know. Everything's going to come crashing down. Like, soon. Like, seriously. And I can't be afraid to live my life. Right? All I can do is try and just do the best I can. I can't go out and get a job because I'm sick, people. I am sick. This ringing in my ears is like off the wall. The more stress I'm under, the worse it gets. This tooth situation hasn't been rectified. This eye has been sore all day because my eyes, right? They're not good, right? I got glaucoma. I got the pressure. So I'm sick, okay? I'm sick, people. So I can't really go and do an 8-hour job, right? To make the equivalent of maybe $300 more than what's on my welfare check. 10 hours a day, 5 days a week with this situation. And try and maintain on the house yet. But I have to pay rent and I have to pay bills. And I've thought about this before, and I think I'm going to have to try this, but I have to be proactive about it. I'm going to make a fucking flyer. I'm going to explain basically what's been going on for the last several years under the BC Liberal government, because none of this shit happened under the NDP. Honest to God, it never fucking happened under the NDP. And I'm going to expose the healthcare system in terms of a two-tiered healthcare system. Joan, with her mental illness and her fancy-dancy fucking pension, got the best of everything. Sierra, my daughter, with her mental illness, with her little welfare check, gets nothing. Bottom fucking line. That's the way it is. John, with his pension check, well, you know, it's Agenda 21. Again, I've said it before. They just come in there, they took over his body, and once they took over his body, they took over his possessions. And they show absolutely no remorse as to who they are hurting. And in this case, they're hurting a little boy that just came home. He just got here in March of last year, people. It hasn't even been a full year since he's been home, before the shit hits the fan again through the fucking Ministry of Children and Family Development, NCFD, with their social workers. Only this time we're going after the old people. And we got some fucking hateful families sitting up in freaking Victoria, you know, just drooling for his life insurance, can't wait to fucking get it, and had to wait until he was all delirious with the lung infection as they were doping him up and wouldn't let him out of bed so he could walk and start to feel better so that they could bamboozle him and get him to sign something. Who knows what they told him when he did it, because everything was backwards. Whatever they told us was a complete fucking lie. Whatever they told him was a complete fucking lie. But they got away with it. Well, Andre is paying the price. So Nana has to go out there again, and, well, haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it this fucking time. I'm going to go beg, people. I'm going to go beg. I am going to go fucking beg. I am going to start working on a flyer this week. I am going to tell my landlord, this is all I have. I'll give you the other 800 when Andre's money comes in. At least the rent is covered. But I gotta go beg for the hydro. I gotta go beg for the gas. I gotta go beg for a fucking telephone line. Landline. I don't have a cell phone, right? Keep the internet going, at least, right? Because the kids use it, right? I gotta beg for my visa that John is attached to that, because when he came in, he went bankrupt. So I had to take debt load for John so that I could accommodate him in a big fucking house. Because he didn't want to live in a dinky little apartment. He wanted to live in a house. So I took on the debt load of the house. Alright? Royal. Everything else along the way. And I'm sick. I'm sick. So I'll make myself a fucking flyer. I'm going to go out in the street and I'm going to try it. I'm going to educate people as I'm losing everything. I'm going to inform them about the nonprofit. I'm going to let them know how our system really works and why, so that we can get that AAA credit rating so we can sell all our assets to China. You know, dig up the uranium and sell it to Japan so they can send more radiation our way. Right? Only we're not benefiting. Us little people, us common laborers and all this, even the union workers, and they're not benefiting. They think they are. This social worker, one more notch for me. I did Mr. John Duncan a favor. You know, I helped out his family. Yeah, but you know what? You basically fucking destroyed a little boy. He walked tonight. I miss Uncle John. He wants to go to the hospital and see Uncle John. He wants Uncle John, Grandpa John, whatever, to come home. And that fucking bitch social worker and her team robbed him of that. And not only have they robbed him of that, they destroyed his house. Very well. May very well destroy his house. Because when he comes fucking crashing, he's gonna crash. Because I'm sick, people. I don't have the energy to pack up and move out. John even said that on the last one of his videos there with interview with Uncle Grandpa John. We can't afford to move. If we couldn't afford to move while he was living here, how the fuck can I afford to move with him not living here? I can't afford to move. I don't have the energy to pack up. There's nowhere to go. Nobody to help me. Nothing. But those people, they're rolling in the dough now. They're banking fucking $1,200 a month profit. Here, the $1,200 a month was going into bills. Keep old Betsy alive. The cart, right? You know, $700 in there, right? You know, pay the fucking visas, right? You know, maybe buy some wood so that we can have a yard, right? But not those people. They're banking it. That's free money for them. Free fucking money for them. So I'm going to start begging. I'm going to try that. It's not illegal to beg. And I'm going to be proactive about it. I'm going to start educating people because I don't know what else to do. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. I've never been, in all my life, have I ever been in this position. Ever. Before John moved in or after John moved in. I have never, ever been in this position. And I didn't put myself in here by myself. So these little big mouths, well, you know, it's all, you like to blame the government, and you like to blame this, and you like to, well, you know what? I'm a product of my environment. I'm the product of the social workers that like to cause havoc. I'm the product of a BC Liberal government that likes to cut off single mothers with 5 children and then stuff them into fucking shanty shacks and then say, here's another little girl. You look after her even though the crazy mom lives downstairs and deal with it without a welfare check. Okay? I'm the product of that. Well, my kids are going loopity-loop. Like, what's going on, Mom? Like, why are we here? Well, I don't know. Why are we here? But, you know, it's like Uncle John said, we'll stick together. You know? We'll stick together. And we did. We did. Now, I had to ask my oldest daughter. She may come back tomorrow and apologize to me. But I gave her back her $300. So I'm out $300 from my $1,000 little welfare check. I told her fucking leave, because I'm tired of her ragging on me. I told her I don't want to live like this, you know, with her bipolar shit. And because she's under stress right now with missing Uncle John and all this shit and just worried and whatever it is, it's even worse. And like she likes to try and put her thumb on me, right? And it's like, get out of here, just go away. I'm losing it anyway. I'm losing this fucking house anyway. And if I'm not going to lose it, one less or one more isn't going to matter. She's not going to save this house. Okay, that's not what's going to save this house. So I gave her back her $300. So I'm out $300. But my other daughter's borrowing me too. But she's putting pressure on me as to when I'm going to give it back. Because, you know, she's just a teenager, 19, right? You know, she wants to pay off her little, you know, $800 transit fucking fines so she can get her driver's license. So, I don't know, people. I'm going to start begging. When I'm ready, I'll take the video out. You know what is the social worker going to say? You know, well, I got Andre in daycare and I'm out in the streets begging. Begging to pay the hydro. Begging to pay the lights and the gas and the telephone. Have food in the house. Be able to feed the chickens. You know, be able to feed the cats. What about the cats? Those are John's cats. I don't even like 3 cats. John liked those cats. He used to feed those cats all the time. They have no more food. Right? I'm not going to start selling shit. Before that happens, it can be hauled out of here and thrown out in the fucking street, and it could become a free-for-all. Right? And I'll stand there, and I'll cry, and I'll videotape it. Because that's the destruction that the BC Liberal government brings to poor people. That's the predatory behavior and the result of that, and that's not my fault. That's not my fault, because if John would have died, it would have been different, but he didn't fucking die. God gave him another chance. And these people that have him couldn't even give him a chance to come home and try it. So he's been robbed of his one chance. And no matter what they think about me, they need to look at themselves and ask themselves what they're going to do with their tax-free fucking money now that they got it. Right? As Andre is unaware that his home has been torn apart. Anyway, that's enough for now. Turn this damn thing. Okay, people. As we know, my dad's been kidnapped, sent to Victoria. right? Everybody's in the dark over here. We don't know where he is, who has him. My kids are up in arms. Anyway, I want to finish this bag here, right? Because the vice president wants to do something in the summertime with the kids, and so I got to get this off my table, right? And honest to God, I don't know what's going to happen to my life here. But anyway, these jewelry boxes, people, these came from Victoria. Seriously, they used to be in better shape, right? They used to be. And then when I moved into Delta, they're kicking around, whatever. And then after we lost our house, 7 years, they came with me, kicking around. And then they ended up obviously getting ruined, right? But I know you can recover these things, so I never threw them out. As you can see, I never threw them out because I have value for things, right? So this here, I found at spring cleanup years and years ago in Delta. Never used it. I did at one time as a doily, and then I packed them away. So I'm going to recycle this fabric for at least one box and see what we get. Okay? We'll be back. Okay, so I'm looking for a cover for this, right? And I don't have anything handy right now. My little grandson's having a tantrum. He's in his room. Anyway, this is almost the equivalent in terms of thickness to this. This may be a little thicker than this. This is a box that has cards in it. I just opened it up. Right, so I think I'm going to use that anyway. Alright, and that will be the top part of the jewelry box. Okay, so I took off the trim because I'm determined to use up this stuff. As you can see, this is very old, like I told you. I found this at spring cleanup, like probably, this is when I lived in Delta. So 12, 13, 14, well, yeah, years ago. Maybe longer than that. Maybe 18 years ago. And anyway, I think what I'm going to do is
No, wait, I talk.
I'm going to
No, wait, I want to talk.
wash this.
No, wait, talk.
Because it
What talk?
seems to be on here. Well, that doesn't really matter though. Because it's clean, right? But it's just, this stuff deteriorated. You can see, it's like, fine. And then, yeah, what do you see?
I play the car too.
Oh, these are, what cars are these, Andre? Are these Nana's fancy cars?
Yeah.
Huh? You're only allowed to play with these little fancy special cars in the...
And this is like driving.
That one's driving?
Yeah.
You have to see like this, right?
Yeah.
See? You like those, eh? Okay, well, I don't know what that stuff was because it's not in this one. Now, I haven't taken these ones apart yet either, so we'll see, right? Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to walk you through this quickly, right? You know, got to try stay positive here as best as you can, right? So anyway, just put that on there like that, right? Draw a line around it, cut this fabric phrase, so you have to be very careful. Okay, so I don't know really how old these boxes are. I know I used to use them when they were in better shape, but over the years of moving and them being packed in boxes and kicked around and anyway, I cut this out. I took off the hardware. I'm going to just get some good old children's glue for now. It's just a craft glue. It's good enough. And then I'm going to put it underneath there. Hammer that back in. Glue all the way around. And then proceed to do the rest of the sides. Okay, people. So this is what I got so far. I just put the lid on. My kids are having a nervous breakdown here. Apparently I'm being accused of abusing John. John's scared of me, that's what he told the social worker. So, that's the rumor now, right? That's how that was the excuse for taking him to Victoria after all these years. Okay, so everybody's sleeping. Everybody's crashing in my house, people. My kids are experiencing a death in the family. The ones that understand are coming to the realization that they'll probably never see Uncle John again. this will be it. So, after hollering and screaming and stressing out, oftentimes it comes in my direction, right? That's where a lot of that displaced anger goes. But, yeah, they're sleeping. So, I am trying to repair old jewelry boxes that are at least 25 years old, if not older. Because my oldest daughter is 27, and I'm pretty sure I had this one when she was a baby. So, I'm not going to get this done tonight. I'll see what I can do to start working on it. This one here, well, that's kind of it, so I have to get some kind of a trim. It's okay. It's better than what it was. Right? And then I'll put some felt underneath it. Don't have that yet. So, we'll be back. So there's the trim on it. I chose that one. If you notice, I put little pins there, right? Because I glued it. So you have to keep pressing it down when it starts to pop out. Right. That's the inside. So far. This just has a little thing for it, so. I know that my dad wouldn't wish upon the kids or myself what is happening right now. Okay, so first thing is to glue this stuff back on, right? And then I'm going to clamp it and we'll leave it for the night, right? And then I have to find something, right? I don't know, another lid of some kind. Just shopping around the house for old boxes, or this was actually a new box. Maybe I'll turn it upside down and do it again. And I'll have two that look almost the same. But I actually wanted to, I don't need to do that. I don't know what I want to do. Oh, I lost it here, people. Yes. I wanted to finish up with this fabric, so I think the next one might be, we'll just imagine. Alright. I could actually use that box and maybe do like that. That would look cool. Hold on. This one maybe a bit too big. I can shimmy that down. We can just imagine like that. That looks kind of nice, actually. Hey, doesn't that look nice? So that's what I've done. We'll just let it dry. I still like the way that looks. I want to point out that my middle daughter is feeling suicidal again because of what's going on with John. And I'm trying to mentor her through it, but you know, her feelings are her feelings, right? Okay, so I'm in shock, people. John's extended family has frozen his account. So that means I don't have money for rent and the bills. And I'll be canceling my car insurance that I just got 3 days before he went into the hospital because we decided we needed to put the car on the road. Because the month before I had paid out like $700 to get it fixed, but I had to park it. Well, a month and a half I had to park it because I didn't have money to carry on with the insurance and gas and all this other stuff. But by come time he got that flu 3 days before that, 4 days before that happened, we were talking about, well, we need to get to the doctor. You know, I haven't been to the doctor. He hasn't been. Nobody's been to the doctor, right? He was going to take a handy dart one day, but that didn't work because he didn't want to go on that day. And so we decided to put the car on the road, and it's only been, what, a month and a half? If that, when I put it on the road, January 10th. Today is the 26th of February. And I'm taking it off the road now. Anyway, that's another video. Right now, I just want to focus on this and get this over with. You know, finish what you started. These boxes have been kicking around my house for like 20 years. Just getting more banged up, so I'm going to finish it. Alright. So I'm going to cut a little strip in here, try and get that little knobby thing in there as best as I can. Glue that on. I still like this one, like this. I don't know, I like that. Where's that other piece? Well, and the one that goes in here. It looks nice. Move it back. Okay, people. So you can see, I'm talking, Andre. I'm gluing this on now. Right, it's going to need a fair amount because this is all buckled in here because it's all cracked up, right? But I just put that there, and let it sit for a while, right? Let the glue start to set. You can see, right? I've already put this one on, right? I'm not too sure what I'm going to do about this trim yet, so we'll see. Okay, because as you can see, I'm putting trim on this, but I'm going to put this camera on me here. I just turn this around like this, and we're going to put that right there. I know I look like crap. I'm crying, whatever. Trying not to cry. Does that work? Maybe go like that. No. That's not working. Needs to be a little higher. Wasting time on the computer here. I don't know, people. Hold on a minute. Okay, well that's the best I can do. I don't know, I'm pretty devastated right now. I don't know what kind people, like, you gotta be pretty freaking cruel, cold in the heart, to come in when your brother, and to use long lost distance cousins and nieces and whatever, a niece, to take advantage of somebody that's built their own life and has a family, and come in and connive with a social worker to take him away without him really realizing what you're doing because you're not being completely honest about it. You're telling him one thing when his immediate family is with him outside of fighting for convalescent care. But in the meantime, you're going behind his back with his extended family that he hasn't lived with since he was a kid, really, you know. Because this is to do with his sisters, right? So when the last time he lived with his sisters is when he was a kid. He hasn't lived with his sisters since he's been like 17, 18 years old. The man is 76 years old. And all of a sudden these sisters just pop up out of nowhere. And like I said, they've been ignoring him for years. He's been going over to Victoria for the last 20 years with my kids taking him to go visit his sisters. But they've never come over here to visit him. They don't even phone him. And then to turn around and take power of attorney of him because they took advantage of his infection and the fact that he became a little delirious from that, which is not unnormal for people to do when they when they come down with lung infections. But they took advantage of that, and they worked with the social worker to keep it on record that he was confused for the whole time so that they could go in front of somebody and get some sort of power of attorney and then come back and trick him to sign it and put pressure on him to sign it. And because they weren't being honest about what they were signing, what he was signing, and he wanted to please his relatives because he's feeling insecure where he is because nobody's listening and he wants to come home here. He signed something, I guess. And they took him to Victoria. And then they locked his bank account because they must have done something. So now his immediate family, which includes a 4-year-old, Andre, right? A 17-year-old who is a dependent, and getting attacked at work and got fired because the employee doesn't want to take responsibility for all the homeless issues that go in and out of that place and the problems that come with that. My daughter got a machete pulled on her, ran back inside the company for protection because she was on her break from some woman that had already been banned from there and had 5 cops pull her out, but nobody told my daughter about it. And even if she did, the woman came back to the property outside, picked a fight, was punching her and her friend, and then turned around and pulled a machete. My daughter got scared, threw a bag at her, and the machete fell on the ground. And my daughter took that opportunity to run back into McDonald's, and they fired her the next day, saying it was her fault. Because she said, "What, you want to fight?" The woman was acting like she wanted to fight, so my daughter simply asked her a question: "What, are you wanting to fight? Like, who are you? I don't even know you." Well, in the meantime, my dad's extended family, has robbed him of his immediate family. Completely. We're all completely disconnected from him. Right? Nobody will let him talk to my daughters because my daughter, Shimei, is trying to phone. And they're not letting him talk to her. Half the time she's phoning, she only phoned 3 times. Phoning the mom and Elaine, and they're hanging up on her. What kind of nonsense is that? So in the meantime, I'm sitting here with the rent unpaid, the bills unpaid. I just insured the car 3 days before he got sick because we were talking about we need to get our asses, both him and I, to the doctor. So we decided to insure the car. I don't have money to insure the car now. I don't know what to do. My rent is $16.50. My welfare check is $10.13. I have to at least have $150 in my bank for the things that come out of my bank besides my car insurance. So I have to cancel my car insurance unless maybe my daughter will borrow me some money for this month. And then I'm still going to be $800 short on my rent. Right? But I get $800 for Andre. So when that comes in, that full dollar amount's going to go straight for, and that won't come in until the 11th, between the 11th and the 15th. So my landlady has to wait till the 11th or the 15th to get the other $800. And that's going to leave me with $0 and still the bills unpaid. I mean, what kind of people do that? Think about it. With a little 4-year-old in the house yet. With the kids in the house that John loves. John loves these kids. You think John would actually do this? And we don't know where he is. They're not telling us. Who are they saving him from? A 4-year-old? Teenagers? A young man that's going to college? From me? They're saying that he's afraid of me. I don't know how that can be possible, people. How can a man be in your life for 24 years and be afraid of you? Well, you holler, she hollers. She's hollering on the phone, and then she won't let us down. Yeah. No, I've been hollering for a long fucking time. Damn right I've been hollering. You try and raise 5 kids without hollering. Right? As if people take me serious. I have to raise my voice. And it's not like John didn't like to holler in his younger days. He could holler too, when people fight, right? So I don't know, people. I'm working on these jewelry boxes, 25-year-old jewelry boxes, at least 25 years old, if not older than that, right? And I'm using old scraps of little bits of this and little bits of that. You can see an old fabric that I found at spring cleanup a long, long, long time ago when I lived in Delta. So I was probably like 10, 12, 14 years old. So everything is old. and I don't have the rent. And I don't know what to do. I have never been in this position in my life. Ever. If John would have died I'd be saying people he died. I would be saying the same thing. I don't have money for rent. I don't know what to do. You know, I've never been in this position before. But he didn't die. He got kidnapped. He got kidnapped by an extended family that wants to take control of his money, basically. Because they took control of his bank account, undermining him, telling him one thing, and then, you know, okay, my camera was full, so that's why it ickered out. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. How can people be so cruel? Yeah. They won't let, you know, do you think they're going to let us talk to him? Right? How can a man live with somebody for all this long and wake up one day and all of a sudden be scared? After he says on the video, on several videos that are already uploaded on this channel, that he wants to come home and he doesn't know what to do. And he knows that you shouldn't be talking to these people. In other words, the social worker knows, right? Because they're, you know, he knew they were conniving. Why do you think he had nightmares? He was having nightmares. Because he didn't know how to stop it. He wasn't sure what was going on. He was believing in the good in the people, right? Not in the bad. But you know what? This really shows how bad people really are. Right? Like, this is third world country shit that brings in genocide. They're not saving John. If they wanted to save John, they should have saved him when he was moving around quite well on his own. They could have saved him before his wife moved into my house. They could have helped his wife get a nice little apartment for herself and had John move over. Hold on. Yeah. Third world country genocide. Right? They're not stupid. You know, they know it costs money to live. Right? They know John has responsibilities with the house in terms of rent and whatnot. But it's obvious they didn't have my girls and my son take John to Victoria the many times that they did. Because this is the repayment. This is how they rewarded my children for bringing their brother back to Victoria 20 times in 20 years. And this is how they treat little children, little 4-year-olds. They evict them from their family home. Because I'm not out of the woods yet, people. I don't know how long my landlord's going to put up with me paying rent, half in here and half there. Yeah. I have no clue. Anyway, let's see about these boxes. I'm trying not to think about this too much. Right. That's what I got so far on that one. And this is what I've done on this one so far. There's that upside down house. I got 3 houses here, people. Hold on. There's that one. There's that one. And there's the upside down house. Right? I mean, that's not my house. That's the house that the troll lives in, that was trolling my channel there for a minute, saying that these people at the care facility did the right thing. Well, you go ahead and you say that. You say that, and you bring little 4-year-olds into Canada homeless, like in freaking Africa and China and Cambodia and India and freaking Sri Lanka and all these other places where there's thousands and millions of homeless children. You've just added one more to the lot. Okay, so I'm almost getting done here. Alright. I just have to find something, something junk jewelry or something, right? Just put it in there, glue it. I'll have to hunt around for that. This one's almost done, as you can see. I don't know if I'm going to change the inside yet. Right. I might make it green. I'll just leave it. Doesn't really matter. There. You get the gist of it. Hold on.